as I started getting into technology, and during COVID, it moved and transformed more into like a digital platform of like how do we help preserve and promote Hispanic heritage. So from there, last year I published a children's book, Bilingual, in Spanish and English, promoting and celebrating a local business owner. But it's one of the of those projects that I've been involved that are like creative, innovative in its nature.
Hello and welcome to all our listeners to another amazing episode of Edu Unlocked with me, Ashish Fernando, your host. And this is a podcast where we meet individuals who are exceptionally good at not just helping their own institutions, students around them, but are great at helping the whole ecosystem of higher education. And joining us today is one such amazing personality. We have Bianca Alvarado from balvarado.com. That's her website if y'all want to go see what she does. But she does actually a lot of things beyond that. And she's doing a few other things that are very focused on the future of students and the whole ecosystem around workforce. Bianca, welcome to our podcast.
Yes, thank you for having me here.
Fantastic. So I read somewhere, we'll start with this. I read some you live in San Diego, but you've spent time on both sides of the border, right? And
Yes.
so tell us a little bit about your life. Would love to hear from you and just for our listeners to know who you are a little better.
Yes, thank you. So I grew up in the San Diego Tijuana border. I was born in California, Santa Barbara, but due to like immigration status of some siblings and my parents, we had to move to Tijuana so they could get the green card, the residency. Back then, they were like require you to leave the country to ask for forgiveness before you can actually apply for that status. So my
Yeah.
parents, my dad moved us to Tijuana, so I went to school there for first grade, second grade, and then it's so impressive that I didn't like I never attended third grade or fourth or fifth anywhere, not
Really?
even Mexico, not the US, because well, that's what it is living in the in a border area now. Sometimes you can't afford rent in San Diego or California, so your family tries to move to Tijuana, and sometimes over there it's like, oh, you cannot join mid-year through school. Or one year we were crossing the border daily,
Yeah.
waking up at 3 or 4 in the morning. So yeah, so kind of a mixed education background there, really early on.
That's amazing. Yeah, so you are, and you're still very connected to the other side of the border, right? You're doing some work there as well. I mean, I read about Baja Urban, right? Did I get it right? The
Yes.
company that you're supporting. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about how you're bringing cross-border work together and what's the kind of impact that it's having.
Yes, so I'm usually part of different projects and initiatives. But Harvard started when I was doing my master's degree at the Kroc School at the University of San Diego, where I earned a scholarship to go to attend that school in their program of social innovation. So there I started studying like the cultural traditions and Hispanic heritage and how to involve indigenous communities. So we started off with like selling handmade items. But then as I started getting into technology, and during COVID, it moved and transformed more into like a digital platform of like how do we help preserve and promote Hispanic heritage. So from there, last year I published a children's book, bilingual book in Spanish and English, promoting and celebrating a local business owner. But it's one of the of those projects that I've been involved that are like creative, innovative in its nature and trying to do something else, no, break the standard. I've done like comic books before, and really not attached to a single product or service, but anything that changes the dynamic of serving those who are gonna receive the content in a better way. And the most recent project about binational relations was that I was the co-lead for a science and tech design to action network as part of the World Design Capital. So the World
Mhm.
Design Capital was initially established by UCSD, the design lab. They were the main promoters in bringing this to the region. And the World Design Capital kind of like picks a region to be promoters of design thinking and how, and I'm like implementation in different industries and areas. So it can be health, tech, business, sports, education. So there I was leading the science and tech sector along with a co-director from Tijuana. And this was a year of celebration till 2024. If you want to look it up, anybody wants to look it up. If you look up WDC 2024, wdc2024.org, you can see all the different projects, all the different initiatives that were part of that initiative to celebrate the region and
Mhm.
promote cross-industry collaboration from San Diego to Tijuana. And again, in all those different areas, right? And that's something basic that has been evolving as part of my career. I don't stay within one industry. I'm part of like different industries and trying to bring projects forward.
That's amazing. And I mean, just kind of wanting to understand the backstory, right? Like even the book, we're going to share this with our listeners that Bianca shared with us, and it's called Using the Scientific Method to Design Your Professional Life. Is there some backstory to this? Like, did you have any struggle in your like career, or like what led you to kind of tell this story to everybody?
Yes, that's a great question. Yes, so I invite everyone to my website, kind of personal blog is balvarado.com. And there you can sign up and you can get that ebook downloaded to free to your computer. And I did what you were saying. I wanted to create a resource of something that I didn't have when I needed it. So I'd say like as a first generation student, my parents never went to college. My dad made it to he never went to school. I think kindergarten maybe in Mexico, but my mom made it to third grade. So really, sometimes if
Wow.
your parents, yeah, if your parents went to school in another country, even that helps because they're telling you there's university, you should go to university, some kind of like academic literacy in that sense.
Sure.
But
Right.
when they never did, and they like my dad, he does tree care, so nothing related to education or academics at all. But the for them it was always like, okay, so just whatever you can do with the resources that you have, that's why you're in the US. So make the most out of it.
That's funny.
Make the most out of it of what you can.
But at least he knew that you have to be in the
Yes,
US, right? Like that knowledge.
mentality.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I think that mentality has helped me a lot. Of course, as like immigrants, they like find many challenges, discrimination, like many things that they have to face as a first family person here in the US. So yes, that mentality definitely they engrave on us. So when I graduated from my undergrad and even I would say my master's degree, I didn't know how to find like a career or a position because the degrees that I have earned my credentials on, and this is probably mostly true for everyone. Like if
Hmm.
you major in marketing, then you can go get a marketing job. But many of the careers now, it's like you get a specific, like a general topic, like social innovation. Okay, what do I apply? There was like nothing
What
like
job?
social.
Yes.
Yeah, what job can I apply to or do oh, like my undergrad was kind of like international relations, no? And you have to have all this kind of like history and
That's
career
true.
experience
Very
that I
true.
never was exposed to. So what I started doing without knowing much because I wasn't content with entry level positions that I was getting. Like I felt that they limit me, and I was since spending a good time doing what I really wanted to do. And I was thinking, okay, this is gonna take me like a whole lifetime to get into the positions that I actually want to. So I started experimenting on my own and creating kind of my own personal projects, my own personal pursuits, attending workshops. So in this ebook, I talk about designing your career life. So how can you design your career journey through experimentation? And one of the initial stages of that is, well, like first, where do you want to expand? What areas do you want to expand on? So you have to do an internal analysis of like your current job or your current roles or the current activities that you're doing with the focus on where do I want to expand more. And something that came up to me recently too was somebody was telling me, sometimes people spend a lot of time comparing themselves to other people, and they're not able to get ahead. And I think for me personally, that never happened to me because I never had time. Like I never had time to compare myself. So I think sometimes if you have
Why you
time
just
to
kept
compare
yourself
yourself,
busy? Like you kept yourself busy all the time. Yeah.
yes, like well, what are you doing with that time? Go do a workshop
Go
or
work
learn
another
something.
job or yeah. Okay.
you know
Mhm.
so like a lot of self-doubt there, but what are you doing with that time? So I started doing like multiple things, and at one point I had like four different projects going on. So I had like my professional job, then I was doing like a project for the US State Department on around building a course on technology to make it more accessible for Hispanic youth. And I was doing some consulting around tech also. But it was like a lot, and I wasn't sure which direction to go. But then all those, so that's in the scientific methods, it's like go and test the different projects that you or areas that you might be interested in, and from there make an informed decision based on your observations. Because sometimes it can be like a quick tutorial, and you're like, okay, this is not for me. Like
Totally.
this is not gonna work out. So I had some of those experience where I was like, okay, this is not the direction. This is not gonna work out for me. But
Yeah,
after
you were
those,
smart because many students like enroll in a master's of like social whatever humanities and something, and then they're like, yeah, what do we do after this? Or in international business, like you said. Yeah, so you were very smart about it in terms of how you did it. Yeah.
yeah, or like even for those students, like go and connect with somebody on LinkedIn. You'll be amazed with how many people respond actually to your messages. If you do it in an authentic way, I would say that like don't just copy and paste. Like you have to be authentic in the way that you're reaching out. But even just like a conversation with a professional can save you so much time learning from their experience or listening to a podcast episode about them or implementing something. So for me, I was actually really early on in my career. I was interested in, again, like my career has been super diverse from like the beginning, from different perspectives. Anyway, I was interested in gray water recycling
Hmm.
when I recently graduated because I was learning about environmental border issues. And I thought that I wanted to create a company like around that. So I attended a workshop, and I was like, at the end of the day, I was like so tired and drained because you actually have to use physical labor. And I was like, okay,
No.
yeah, moving like actual stuff. And I was like, okay, this is not for me. And like that was like a simple workshop, 3 hours that I attended, and I was able to just like cross it out. But from those different projects that I was telling you that I was part of, like then it was too much. Then I was like, okay, and even it affected my health. It was too much. I would say people like go to test two or three different projects and ideas and experiences at a time, so it's not overwhelming like it was for me. But once you have done that, then you can make an informed decision, like a scientific method, no? Like, okay, this is actually work for me. I actually want to expand in this area. And that's when I started my position at the University of San Diego, where I was associate director of EdTech and innovation, something like that. The title, the title. But yeah, I was managing a global platform around like design thinking for educators around the world. But then
All
again,
right.
like between those projects, I was like, okay, this is too much. So I want to like nail it down to one. But then I knew like for what specific areas I wanted to expand on, and I had like learned some knowledge around them. So was able to like formalize that kind of job history.
Very nice. Yeah. And I mean, that's something that I'd love to talk about, right? So, San Diego State, I come from India. Like for international students, also, it's a great place to go. But in general, like it's a really good school in the CSU system, right? When you think of like digital promise and the work you're doing there with EdTech, like what kind of students is it going to impact? Is it for every student who's only studying there, or even like outside? Like, talk to us a little bit about that.
Yes, so the different universities can be a little bit confusing here in San Diego, especially in San Diego because we have so many really good universities. So for me, for my undergrad, I went to SDSU, which is like the public state university. They have really good business programs. And well, of course, my undergrad there was international relations, but very, very affordable for people like me. And then we have UCSD, where in that university I was able to do the World Design Capital project that I was involved in this year. And then USD, University of San Diego, which is a private Catholic school, where I
Yeah.
did the social innovation master's degree. So different universities. Right now, my full-time job is with Digital Promise. So Digital Promise is a national organization. So it's a national organization that was initially created by Congress with bipartisan support, but right today it runs autonomous, but it's a national education that focuses on research, education, and technology. And
Mm,
there I lead the San Diego STEAM Pathways Initiative. And you're right, this is a regional effort. So it's not
mm,
affiliated with the specific institutions, but
okay.
on the other hand, we are involving all the different institutions to be part of this effort. So this is a long-term, like 5 to 8 year project. And I started this position with them in March 2024, this year. But definitely, I'm working with the education leaders around the region to make this possible for the region.
Brilliant. And what are you, I mean, we have listeners from even actually San Diego State, and I work with San Diego State for a few things in enrollment, right? I run an enrollment company as well. What is it that you are looking for? Are you looking for any more support from other institutions? You're looking for support from people outside? This would be a great avenue for you to talk about it.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for that opportunity. Yes, so this is a cross-industry, multidisciplinary effort. So we involve everybody from leaders from preschool that represent preschool, elementary, high school, college, higher education. So we have leaders from, like, say, the YMCA, UCSD Extensions, Southwestern College. But yeah, we're always happy to involve more leaders in this initiative. And again, this is one of its kind cross-industry design collaboration. So something that happens a lot is that we see a lot of great things happening in education here in San Diego, but everybody's kind of building their own different initiatives and working on their own different projects and kind of different areas. So we were working on that, on bringing them together so that they can actually build something that is sustainable for the region. So yeah, so any leaders around education that want to be part of this cross-industry effort, you can always reach out to me. And LinkedIn, I think LinkedIn is the universal platform to reach out to
Great
me.
place to connect.
Yeah, so you can just look up Bianca Alvarado and send me a message, and I'll be happy to follow up on that.
Fabulous. And for our listeners, we will include in the description Bianca's website, which is balvarado.com, and also her LinkedIn profile, and maybe a little information about the initiative she's working on, so that if y'all are interested, y'all can connect with her, especially all you folks on the West Coast. I know that there's a tight-knit community there, and between San Francisco, LA, even Seattle, all the institutions there,
Hmm.
San Diego. So please connect with Bianca. Our goal here is to make a network, Bianca, right? This is a group of individuals who all think alike, who move the nation forward, move institutions forward. So I'm so glad you made it to the podcast and shared with us a little bit of your personal history with Mexico and the United States, your parents, and a little bit of what you're doing. So this has been fabulous. Thank you very much for joining the podcast.
Yes, thank you, Ashish, for inviting me. I really enjoyed the conversation and I look forward to staying connected and connect with the network because it really is gonna take that for us to solve one of the most challenges in education, like that creation of community, relationship building so that we are creating together through a cross industry kind of lens. So that's maybe something that you see I'm not seeing, but we need different set of eyes to look into this systemic like challenges through a 360 kind of view to impact students. So I really appreciate your community and getting connected to them.
Thank you so much, Bianca. We appreciate you becoming part of this. And I go to San Diego every year for my favorite EdTech conference of the year, which is ASU I don't know if you go there.
Yes, very popular conference, and they also have a free version just so everybody knows if you're not able to afford the main registration. They have an ASU Air Flight conference before the main conference, so that one's free, so anybody can also check the website
Oh,
and
that's awesome. Oh, yeah, you're talking about the air show,
the
right?
air show. Yeah,
Yeah, Revolution.
it's
Yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Last time was the first time they did it. It was pretty good. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, that's awesome. So you're gonna be there in April.
Yes, so I'll be at the air show one.
Yeah, okay, great. Yes, I will be there too, and we will definitely connect.
Oh,
I
nice.
will be
That's good.
speaking at the conference, and yeah, I'll send you an invite as well to that.
Yes,
Uh,
let's connect.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Bianca. And thank you to all our listeners for joining another fabulous episode of EDU Unlocked with me, Ashish Fernando, and our amazing guest for today, Bianca Alvarado from balvarado.com and from San Diego State. Thank you so much, everybody.